Joining us each week on the Sports Bash, Jeff Kerr covers the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies currently are winning in spring training 5-2, but we really don't care who's winning or losing in spring training. We want to see how the guys look, and that's why Jeff Kerr is joining us for another edition here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Jeff, welcome in. How you doing today?
Pretty good, Josh. It's nice to actually get to watch the game instead of following game day and actually hearing from other people how players are doing.
Well, how do we rank this really quick? I just thought of this. So, like, Saturday, we don't actually have the Phillies broadcast. We had, like, the Blue Jays broadcast on NBC Sports Philadelphia. So, like, in the hierarchy of, like, the other team's broadcast, because your team's not broadcasting, the Phillies broadcast Tom McCarthy, because apparently they keep showing him in the outfield during the game here. And then, as you mentioned, just like seeing updates online, like what is like the worst to first for you?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't mind listening to other teams' broadcasts because I always feel like I learn more about the other team when I'm listening to their broadcast is what you should be doing, right? Because I watch a ton of MLB TV during the year. Like if the Phillies aren't playing, I'm usually watching the Orioles or I'm watching the Braves if they're playing or I'm watching somebody, right? Because I want to see how players around the league are doing. And I always come back to, you know what? John McCarthy and John Kruk are pretty good.
I think they're better than people realize. I think people of a certain age, I'll say, Jeff, right? I don't want to put it, but people of a certain age still hold against Tom McCarthy that he's not Harry Kalas. And it's like, no one's Harry Kalas. Like, people like act like that, like, you know, Harry Kalas no longer here, so everybody stinks. And it's like, you're right. You listen to other teams, like I watch MLB TV as well. And like some of the other broadcasts, they're rough, man. Like the for example, the Twins broadcast, that is a rough broadcast at times.
Yeah. So when the White Sox were terrible, I would get made fun of because I listened to the White Sox a lot. I think everybody would go, why do you listen to the White Sox? They're like the worst team in baseball. I'm like, well, Jason Benetti's their play-by-play guy. But then he moved to the Tigers, and then I started, like, I like Jason Benetti. I think he's really good. Kevin Brown from the Orioles is really good. I think the Braves still have a carry, right? I'm trying to remember which carry they have now.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Now, Kevin Brown, for those listening to 97.3 ESPN, he does some weekend ESPN radio games as well. So people in our audience are familiar with him. I think Benetti still does some Fox MLB games, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's going to be the lead play-by-play guy for NBC Sunday Night Baseball now, which would be
awesome.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think from what I heard, it's Benetti and whoever the color person's going to be, it's going to be one of the local teams' broadcasters. So there's a good chance it could be Benetti and Kruk when the Phillies are home.
Well, that would be weird. Just because having like when what was I think it was the Roku game last year. It was like Kruk and like a couple other people, and like you could tell Kruk was like completely out of his element. He was just like, I don't have my typical banter friends over here. Whereas the other broadcast that I think was it Amazon or maybe it was Peacock, where it was him and Kevin Franson for the Nationals game. And like you tell, like Kruk is such a cute creature comfort. Like he needs to be in there with someone he's familiar with.
Yeah, he does. And look, Kruk's done the Sunday Night Baseball thing. He did with Dan Schulman for years. So I have a feeling he'd go well with Benetti, but would they go with him or would they go with Ruben or Ben Davis in that case? That's another curveball to it. Like, would John even want to do it?
Ruben is very good when he's been asked to switch to the national stuff. Like I've heard him on ESPN radio here for Sunday Night Baseball. I've heard him on other broadcasts. I think Ruben does a good job at being able to flip that switch from national to local.
One thing I really like about Ruben is he's done it all, right? He was a player, he was a coach, he was a GM. He was the jack of all trades. I know he had an interesting career, but look, the guy's done it all. And like you said, Josh, he's done the national stuff. He's done local stuff. He knows how to do it. Like I respect when Ruben talks, I respect his opinion. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm like, well, he forgets more than I know about this game.
Yeah, and I think Ruben also does it in a way that's, not like offensive. Like, there are some people when they talk about sports, they're just so condescending, and I just got no patience for them. Whereas like Ruben, it's like he might have an opinion, I might not agree with it, but he doesn't say it in a way that makes you feel like he's telling you you're stupid.
Exactly, right? It's he's talking to you like you're 5, but in a good way, right? Because sometimes you need it to be explained like that. And I think that's always the mark of someone who probably is the smartest guy in the room, but he can talk to everybody and everybody understands what he's doing. So, yeah, I do like when Ruben's on. I've grown accustomed to him. Even when Ben Davis is on, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's on. Like, it's weird. I'm not too hypercritical of broadcasters, I guess. Maybe it's because I'm focusing on other stuff. And I do see these guys a lot.
All right, let's get back to the actual Phillies on the field. Jeff Kerr joining us here at Jeff Kerr PHL on the X platform. Go check out his Substack for more of your Phillies coverage. Just jump on the X platform. You see the link right there and a pin to the top there. On the field, I think it was interesting that Otto Kemp hit a home run today, Jeff, because there is a conversation to be had that Otto Kemp, there's no guarantee he is the platoon, right? There is no guarantee that he's going to be the guy platooning with Marsh. There is a chance that Brian De La Cruz could sweep in and take that job, right?
I would like to think there's competition there, but I feel like the competition was over in October when it came to Otto Kemp. It seemed like Otto Kemp was going to play somewhere on this team, and whether he was going to be the full-time third baseman or he was going to rotate, fill in between second and third, or, be the platoon guy in the outfield, they had a plan for him. And they knew what I'm trying to word this the best way I can here. They knew what I know since, June. The guy had a broken kneecap, and he was battling through that, and it couldn't come out, because if it did come out, I think we all knew his season would have been over, right? And I don't think Otto wanted that, and I don't think they wanted that. So I always looked at it as they like what he was able to give them with all the circumstances with the kneecap and the shoulder last year. I think that they think he's going to be the player that he was in Lehigh when he got called up, that hit for power, had a high OPS, and could play every position for him, pretty much every position. Like, I was so impressed when he went to first base last year. I don't think he ever played first base in the minors. And I asked Rob Thompson about it. He goes, well, that's how you go to Bobby Dickerson school. And, we both put out a smirk. And, it's good that they're trying to get him as many positions as they can. I think Otto Kemp is going to play a huge role in what this team does this year. We talk about this infusion of youth with Justin Crawford, Andrew Painter, and Aiden Miller. Otto Kemp is a part of that.
He definitely is. I just think that he's looked at differently because of the fact that he's not one of the big 3 shiny objects, right? He's the car in the lot that's not the Lamborghini. He's not the fancy sports car. He's just a dependable Honda Odyssey. He gets the job done.
I was going to go Civic there, Josh.
Well, I was watching Deadpool and Wolverine last night, so I had Honda Odyssey and Kias on my mind. So
that's the funniest movie I've seen this decade, Deadpool and Wolverine. I can't get enough of that movie.
So, but yeah, so to me, Honda Odyssey, Kia Sportage, whatever one you want to use, to me, he's just a dependable vehicle, and I think that for people, nobody wants a dependable vehicle, right? It's like Fast and Furious when Paul Walker's trying to speed race the car at the daycare pickup, right? For the kid. It's like nobody really wants the minivan, but you need the minivan. And maybe you don't want Otto Kemp, but you need Otto Kemp.
He gets the ultimate compliment from Rob Thompson, from multiple people in that front line. He's a baseball player.
Right.
Isn't that the compliment you want? Like, he's a baseball player. You ask him to do something, he's going to do it. And I actually think Otto's going to have a really good year. I think he knows what he needs to do to succeed at this level. Am I saying he's going to be 300 here? Of course not. But I think he's going to be a good player for them this year. And I think he's really going to help them. If him and Brandon Marsh can give you a combined 800 to 850 OPS, you can live with that platoon in left field.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the other thing with Kemp is that maybe because he's not the shiny new prospect, there's a little bit of he wasn't supposed to be here. He had to work his way, he had to earn his keep. So, maybe for a guy like him, there's a little bit of extra, he knows what it takes to be here kind of thing, Jeff?
I would agree. And look, this guy is, and look, he questioned himself. He questioned if he was any good 2 years ago when he got called up to Lehigh for a cup of coffee and he didn't hit like how he thought he was going to hit. He hit at every level: Jersey Shore, Clearwater, Reading. Comes up to Lehigh, struggles a bit, and he told me I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I was that type of player or not, and he worked his butt off to become that 300 hitter in Lehigh and be the Paul Owens Award winner for them. And look, he was going to hit 30 home runs and have 1,000 OPS for Lehigh last year if he stayed there all year. And he earned his trip to the majors. And, it was all of a sudden one night in June, he's in Charlotte and all of a sudden he gets a call. Hey, guess what? You're coming up. And I think it was a surreal moment for him. And I don't think he really had time to get his feet wet because when he did, he broke his kneecap. So I think he put in the work. I think he knows what he has to do now. He's seen Major League pitching. He said, hey, look, if I can do this, if I can hold my own with everything that happened to me last year, I'd like to see what I can do when I'm healthy. This is a big year for him.
By the way, speaking of the outfield, I forgot to mention this. On another media platform, Phillies President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski made the comment that apparently Aiden Miller told the Phillies, I can play outfield too. It's almost turning with Aiden Miller where no matter who you talk to about him or what platform he personally goes on, it almost sounds like Aiden Miller is almost being like, if you need me to be Ben Zobrist, I'll be Ben Zobrist. He's really turning into that dude who just is like, you need me to play there? I'll figure it out.
I mean, look, Al Kemp never played left field until last year, and I thought his ball tracking was terrible, and his footwork was terrible, and he found a way to get it done. I mean, I guess Aiden could get it done. I think they want him to be the long-term shortstop, but if you need him this year, Bryce Harper's publicly said, we need him this year. He said on a broadcast. So, he's getting looks at third. He's going to get looks at second, I was told. I think even Dave Dombrowski said that today, that he's going to get a look at second. And I wouldn't be shocked if he went to the outfield. I just think that's a big transition, but I will say this with the Phillies. I don't think they should rush him. If he hits those first 2 months like Aldo Kemp did, then you bring him up. If not, it's fine. It's going to take Aiden Miller a while. It always takes Aiden Miller a while at every level, and then he just goes crazy. And I mean crazy as in hits 1,000 OPS and has power. I mean, the kid's a real deal. He's still only 21 years old, so you can be patient with him.
Jeff Kerr joining us here on the Sports Bash. Josh Hennig filling for Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN. At Jeff Kerr PHL for all of your Phillies coverage. Speaking of what Harper said, Harper, the whole report about him this weekend going to the Phillies, saying we need more right-handed bats. It's such a weird dynamic with Harper and what he wants versus what he says and what he doesn't say. And are you starting to get to the point with Harper where it's almost like, hey, Bryce, can you just stop talking and play baseball?
I think Bryce knows that. I think this is.
You sure?
This is probably the time where this is the time where he talks, and then you only hear much of him until he just decides, oh, yeah, I'm going to go up today and talk. Yeah. Look, I don't mind him speaking. It's better than him not speaking, I guess. I kind of like how he's taking the leadership role of the team, but this is a big year for him. He needs to not be the player he was last year because I honestly liked when he did the non-elite stuff and wore the shirt. I think his reasoning was, bull that, someone gave me a shirt. No, come on, Bryce. You knew exactly what you were doing. And that's fine, right? The great ones always find a way to get motivated. Even if look at Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. Look at the little things that got him motivated or got him upset. I think Bryce needs to take that to heart. And I think he is. And are him and Dombrowski good? I'm hearing they are, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Harper is that, I think that he's in some ways maybe just expressing what nobody else either wants to say or is maybe afraid to say, right? I think that if he's willing to stay in that lane, I'm fine with it. It's just like you said, don't give us some goofy, they handed me a T-shirt. No, just own it. Just be like, you know what? I'm a spiteful you-know-what. It doesn't matter if Dombrowski said it or not. I just wanted to find some motivation this offseason. And you know what? If that means that he goes out there and hits 35 homers, has 100 RBIs, and bats 290, and is an MVP candidate, then you know what, Bryce? Keep doing your thing.
Yeah. And look, he knew he had a bad season by his standards. He knew he wasn't elite last year, and the playoffs just added on to it, right? The playoffs are almost your second life. You could have an okay or good season, but it's not good by your standards. But if you hit in the playoffs, it kind of makes up for it. And if you win a championship, well, that didn't happen. He overswung. He was trying to do too. I honestly think Bryce Harper's biggest issue was last season, especially last year. When there was a runner on base, he tried to play hero ball instead of being Bryce Harper. And I think that hurt him more than it helped him. And hopefully he knows, like, hey, I don't have to swing at the first pitch all the time unless someone grooves it down the middle, or I don't have to violently swing all the time. I just need to be me because I know I can do this. We'll see. I mean, they need Bryce Harper to be Bryce Harper this season. No doubt about
it. We've talked about the young players a lot. Jeff, about, Crawford, about Miller, about Painter. But let me ask you about a guy who's not a young player. Kyle Schwarber had a historic year last year. MVP runner-up. What is a realistic expectation for him? A lot of times guys have a big year. It's hard for them to put the same production back-to-back years.
If he had 50 home runs again this year, I think you take that 10 times out of 10, 11 times out of 10. I expect him to hit 40. I think he's going to be around 240, 40 home runs, 900 OPS. And would you take that, Josh?
I mean, I think I'd be happy with it as long as the rest of the lineup does their job, too. I think part of the problem I had last year, Jeff, was the fact that, basically Schwarber was the only consistent guy in the lineup last year. Yep. I don't need Schwarber to hit 6 home runs if Harper and Bohm and the other guys do their job. Like, if you told me that Garcia comes in here and has a really good year, Harper has a, Harper-esque type year, and Schwarber has a good year, I think this lineup looks a lot better than it did last year.
Yeah, and then Trey does what he did last year, right? I thought Trey had a good year last year. He was the batting champion, and they asked him to be a leadoff hitter. Will that change this year? I don't think so. I think that's what they want him to be, but what if Justin Crawford hits at the bottom of the order? Do you want Trey to be a singles hitter then?
If those singles turn into RBIs.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. I think that's what they want. They want Bryson Stott, Justin Crawford, whoever it is down there to get on base. So that way when you turn the lineup over, you got your big three. Everybody's making a big deal about it's Turner, Harper, Schwarber. I'm okay with those three going back to back if you can get some runs out of them.
Speaking of people making a big deal about things, I'm not trying to be the guy who reads too much into social media, but is it just me? Are the Phillies really trying to make Kyle Backus a thing before he ever makes the roster? Like, I see these reels and these things about him, and it's like the Phillies social media is trying to tell you, look at this guy, look at this Kyle Backus, it's so cool. And it's like, wow, I don't remember them ever pushing a guy on social media who had made the roster yet before Kyle Backus.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I did my initial 26-man projection, I had Backus making it because I think they like his delivery. I think they like what they can do for him. And look, this bullpen's already deep, right? You already got Jonathan Bolin, you got this offseason.
Can't forget about Bolin. I mean, Dombrowski mentions his name every time he gets a chance to.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, he traded Matt Strahm for him. Matt Strahm was a problem child, I guess. I don't think he was, but they make it look like he was with the whole, the whole pitching, the PFP and all that stuff. It's, I think they're going to miss Matt Strahm a little bit in the clubhouse because I think he spoke up for a lot of the younger guys, and there aren't a lot of younger guys, but I think Matt Strahm was vocal, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I always thought he did a very passive-aggressive way. Like, he didn't upset anybody, but when he talks, you listen. So I think they're going to miss that.
They're definitely going to miss that, and my working assumption is that, I feel like that's why the priority was to bring back Schwarber because of what he means to that locker room. So it's like if you're letting Strom and Castellanos go, you want to make sure that the guys that you're bringing in are going to be substantive, right?
Yeah, I would agree. So look, JT's a leader in that clubhouse, Schwarber's a leader in that clubhouse, and that's a pretty tight room. Even with last year, with whatever the Castellanos reports were, they were still tight. And I think they still had the ultimate goal of winning a World Series. And I get it. Like it's not like everything's perfect. Nothing's ever perfect in a 26-man clubhouse or a 53-man locker room. But look, the majority of that team, they're all pretty close. And I don't want to say they're not. This is the end of the road, but I think they know that the window is closing.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is now or never. You're 100% right. Jeff Kerr, give him a follow on the X platform at Jeff Kerr PHL for all your Phillies coverage. Go get on the Substack for all the extensive coverage. He joins us each week here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Jeff, great stuff today.
Sounds great, Josh. By the way, I think I hype up Phillies prospects more than the Phillies hype their own players.
It's a tie. Depends on which prospect it is.
Yeah, well, if it's Alex McFarland, I've been on that train for about a year and a half now. So
I was gonna say, I think that was like a couple years ago. You were on the Alex McFarland train. So
yeah, there are a couple of these guys like I see in Clearwater and Jersey Shore, and I'm like, oh, they can be a player. They can be a player. Like Ryan Kirkring, I remember the first time I saw him pitch, I heard about him in Jersey Shore, and he came up to Reading. It was like his first appearance for Reading, and Jose Alvarado was doing a rehab assignment. That was one of the reasons why I came up there to talk to Jose. I was like, man, Ryan might be better than him. I don't think that's true these days, but the way Orion was coming up, look, he's still only 24. It's a lot of these prospects like him, Otto Kemp, Aiden Miller. They're gonna hit. Phillies do. How can I word it? They have a better farm system than I think people give them credit for.
By the way, someone mentioned you need to get on the Christmas tree.
That's not a Christmas tree. That's a Disney tree. If you look at the ornaments closely, you zoom in, it's all Disney stuff. There's no lights on that.
All right. Well, Jeff in Ocean City thought it was a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's decorative. You know what it is? I got these ornaments perfect, and I don't want to take them down. By the way, once you got it set up, you're like, it's there, it's set. Yeah, it's there, it's set. on to do it next year. I even got houses in the back from like a Disney village. I'm like, no, set. I'm done.
Favorite Disney movie?
Oh man, that's a good one. There's a lot. I quote The Emperor's New Groove a lot, so maybe that's the one.
All right.
There's a lot of quotable lines in that, Josh.
There is, yeah.
Especially when he fires Yzma.
I'm a Mulan guy, so
I do love Mulan. Mulan's very good. They had a lot of bangers in the 90s. Lion King, Hunchback, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan, Emperor's New Groove, the Pixar movie. Toy Story's really good too. I'm a big Toy Story guy.
I'm an original Toy Story guy. I felt like each one after that kind of like was like a notch down. You know what I mean?
Oh, 2 was very good. I like 2.
It's fine.
Did you see the trailer for the 5th one yet?
I have not.
Oh, I don't like how they separated Woody and Buzz, but they're back together. So it's
one of those things where it's like if I don't have something else to watch and maybe it's on Disney Plus, I might watch it. How about that?
See, I've seen all 4 in the movie. I've seen all 4 in the theaters, so I gotta see the. I'm actually excited for this Hoppers movie that's coming out. That's a Pixar film. It looks good.
Well, listen, when Mike Gill comes back, you won't be able to talk movies with him. So
no. Mike's not I don't even think Mike's a Disney guy.
Mike hasn't been to a movie in theater since like the late 90s. So,
but he goes to Egypt and Jordan.
Correct.
Oh man, see, we live different lives.
Jeff, I'll talk to you later.
Sounds great. Thanks, Josh.